This creature lived for 30 million years and never won a single fight. Yeah, you heard that right. The Ankylosaurus was one of the most heavily defended animals in Earth's history. Its entire body was covered in armor, spikes ran down its back, and at the end of its tail was a 30-kilogram bony club. It looked like a walking tank. But after studying every fossil, scientists have never found a single case where it actively attacked anything. Not once. And it gets even weirder. This tank had a body over 20 feet long, but legs barely 1.5 feet tall. It moved slower than a casual human walk. If a T-Rex decided to chase it, it could catch up in seconds. It couldn't outrun predators. It wasn't built for offense. And yet, this animal survived for 30 million years, outlasting T-Rex by over 10 million years. So how did it survive? Only recently have scientists started to piece together an answer that completely changes how we see this animal. First, meet Ankylosaurus. It lived in the late Cretaceous, around 66 million years ago, alongside T-Rex. It could grow up to 30 feet long and weigh over 6 tons, about the size of a fully loaded truck. But size wasn't its biggest advantage. The real advantage was its armor. Most animals have skin, maybe scales. Ankylosaurus was different. Its skin actually formed bone from the inside out, a process called dermal ossification. This wasn't armor it wore. This was armor it was. Bone plates were embedded into its body, fused with muscle. In some areas, they were over 4 inches thick. Tests suggest this kind of structure could absorb massive amounts of force. A T-Rex had a bite force of about 57,000 newtons. That's one of the strongest bites ever recorded. But against this armor, it would be like biting into reinforced material. Even more impressive, the armor wasn't flat. It formed dome-like shapes that spread impact evenly, reducing the chance of breaking. Engineers use similar designs today. Ankylosaurus evolved it over 100 million years ago. But even this near-perfect defense had a weakness. Its underside. No armor. Soft tissue. If a predator could flip it over, it would be game over. So what did Ankylosaurus do? Fossils give us a clear answer. Scientists found bite marks only on the back and sides, never on the belly, which tells us something important. When a predator approached, Ankylosaurus didn't run. It didn't fight. It dropped low to the ground, pulled in its limbs, and turned itself into a 6-ton living shield. T-Rex couldn't bite through it, couldn't flip it, couldn't reach its weak spot. There was nothing it could do except give up and walk away. It's not flashy, but it worked for 30 million years. Now let's talk about that tail club. For over a century, scientists believed it was a powerful weapon. Books showed Ankylosaurus smashing predators. Documentaries turned it into a battle hammer. No one questioned it, until researchers noticed something strange. Male Ankylosaurus had much larger tail clubs than females, and juveniles barely had one at all. If this was a survival weapon, why wouldn't every individual have a strong one? This pattern points to something else. Not combat, but display. Scientists examined preserved tail clubs. Over 70% showed almost no damage. No wear. No signs of repeated impact. Compare that to animals that actually fight. Rhinos, elephants, their weapons show heavy wear. But this looked almost untouched. Simulations showed the tail could deliver a powerful strike, strong enough to injure a predator. But there was a problem. The force of the impact could also damage the tail itself, meaning every strike was a risk. So what was it really for? Researchers explored something unexpected: sound. When the tail struck hollow wood, it could produce extremely loud noise, over 120 decibels, traveling long distances. That's not just a weapon. That's a signal. During mating season, males didn't need to fight. Their armor made combat inefficient. Instead, they competed with sound. They would strike hollow trees, and the louder one won. No injuries. No risk. Just a contest of power and presence. So the real strategy was simple. Armor handled predators. The tail handled competition. 2 systems. Perfectly optimized. Nothing wasted. So how did it go extinct? 66 million years ago, an asteroid about 6 miles wide hit Earth. Around 75% of all species disappeared. TRex, Triceratops, almost everything. T-Rex could run. Ankylosaurus couldn't. It didn't lose to a predator. It couldn't outrun a global catastrophe. And even today, we still get it wrong. Museums call it a weapon specialist. Documentaries show it fighting. Because battle stories are more exciting. But if Ankylosaurus could speak, it might say, "I carried this club my whole life, rarely used it, and when I finally did, it helped me find a mate. And somehow, you turned me into a warrior." Humans have been around for a few million years. This strategy worked for over 30 million. It didn't try to be the strongest. It just made itself impossible to deal with. So what would you choose? Be the strongest for a moment, or the one that lasts the longest?